The Dark Ranger is a kind young man who stumbles his way into the Ranger Force over time. It was his fate and destiny to land in this position. He dealt with and lived a peaceful life, but that did not last long. As evil overshadowed the good in his life, he chanced upon an alter evil self of himself, who is contradictory to his entire personality. But that is what helps him understand the forces of life and nature, how things are beyond humans' control, and how retrieving lost things to their original position is sometimes the best option out of everything. The Dark Ranger is an exceptional character who is constantly battling to understand his newness while retaining his oldness. Let's see how the Dark Ranger path unfolds with an indomitable spirit and attitude, as well as a desire to achieve goodness in himself over evil. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The backstory of Heckle before embracing the Dark Ranger mantle. So, the story begins with Heckle in his home world of Sentai 6. He was kind, peaceful, and loving, and he lived a good life over there. However, Sentai 6 had more secrets than everyone knew. Only a few people throughout the universe were aware that Sentai 6 contained a great power and a great source of energy known as the Dark Energem. This Dark Energem could give its owner unlimited power, and who wouldn't want that in this intergalactic universe? Powerful beings from all over the universe began searching for this Dark Energem, and they continued off board at Sentai 6 in search of the bounty resource. One of them was Lord Arcanon, who had a strong desire to become the most powerful lord in existence. The Dark Energem was kept in a sealed box to be protected from evil at all costs. Furthermore, Heckle carried it with him to prevent it from falling into the hands of someone who might use it to destroy the world, such as Lord Arcanon. Lord Arcanon successfully determines that the Energem is in Heckle's possession, and he attacks Heckle and pursues him to any length in order to obtain the Dark Energem. Heckle stumbled throughout the ordeal, and the sealed box slipped from his grasp. This resulted in the dark energy falling out of the sealed box. Heckle rushed to grab it, intending to protect it from Lord Arcanon. But there was a twist, something evil that even the kind-hearted Heckle couldn't understand. The Dark Energem began to take over Heckle's energy force, rumbling dark energy through his body in a matter of seconds, creating Heckle's alter ego, Snide, who possessed monstrous abilities. At this point, Lord Arcanon appeared and took the Energem with him, magically erasing all memories of the incident from Heckle's mind, leaving him unaware of the previous incidents and the current life of the Rito. Following this, evil ruled Heckle, who was once kind-hearted, not only turned evil, but also destroyed everything with his devilish alter ego, Snide. They didn't leave any corner of the universe unexplored, and tried to leave their evil footprints everywhere until they ran into Sledge. Sledge ignored their outbursts or mishaps and imprisoned them immediately. Following this, we get to witness the immemorial scene in which Lord Arcanon brings along the Dark Energem to the prison, and Heckle, fortunately, has broken out of prison at the same time. He overhears the conversation about Dark Energem, and the powerful Energem force field retrieves his long-forgotten, deeply buried memories, fueling his rage and desire for vengeance against the evil Lord Arcanon. He feels profound guilt and shame for destroying his own homeland, which he cherished.
Try to avoid this!
His impactful role in the Power Rangers Dino Charge. So Sledge holds hostages for evil troublemakers aboard his massive ship. He has cells, individual blocks, cages with metal shielding, and no contact with anyone outside. Heckle, a prisoner here, is considered a huge troublemaker, trotting from galaxy to galaxy and destroying everything in his path. He has been kept in the more premium cell, with physical restraints attached to his body. Vivix, Spike Ball, patrols, and a number of them are installed in each cell to keep an eye out for any escapes, particularly Heckle, who has an evil twin, Snide. Miss Morgan and the other Rangers had been looking for a host for the Purple Energem, putting on several acts to capture a person for the bond. Fury is seen competing for the Purple Energem against the Wish Star. Sledge, on the other hand, had been plotting to retrieve the Purple Energem for himself, as it currently had no host. Sledge, driven by his desire for the purple dark energy source, plots to return Heckle to Earth in exchange for his freedom. When Heckle heard this, he unleashed beams of light from his hands, killing the guards and freeing all of the prisoners. After receiving the Purple Energem, Sledge was forced to accept his deal to become the Earth's ruler. Sledge takes the risk because he is hungry for all of this power. One of the more obvious reasons he chose Heckle was his human-like appearance, which could serve as a suitable cover when encountering the Dino Charge Rangers. Heckle lands on Earth and saves Miss Morgan from a car accident just as she has made a wish on the cursed wish cards to find Purple Ranger soon. She recognizes him as the right person and hands him to the Energem. However, a wish star in the midst of the flowing plan obstructs the plan because he wishes to use the Energem for his own freedom. Things became a little shaky after Wish Star appeared unexpectedly. Rangers had realized that the wish cards were a ruse and the whole thing was going to end badly. Heckle flees the scene to avoid using his powers and revealing his true identity, and here turns Sledge, empty-handed for celebration. A brief fight ensues between them, but Heckle is unable to withstand the force and power of the Purple Energem. Sledge imprisons Heckle again with his newly acquired Energem and terminates his partnership with him, paying no attention to Heckle's explanations.
It's perfect! We may need some extra fire.
Tracing his journey through Power Rangers Dino Supercharge, Greenzilla, one of Sledge's prisoners, embarks on the same mission whose egg Sledge chanced upon and decided to plant across the entire planet. He appoints Heckle to supervise the ship while he is away, and he also assigns him the task of keeping the Energems out of the Rangers' reach. And Heckle, being Heckle and his desire to rule the world, requests the same in exchange for all of these chores. As Sledge leaves, Snide enters. We get to see a constant battle between Heckle and Snide, taking over the body. Heckle felt guilty and apologized for the disturbance and disharmony he had caused. Following this scene, he resumes his duties as a jailer, ordering food and water for inmates, and establishing the death penalty rule in the event that anyone attempts to flee. Heckle shoots the escapees in order to instill fear and intimidation in the remaining inmates. He visits the Dinobite Cafe, meets up with Kendall, and asks for a job so that he can stay close to the Rangers, and Snide deals with Rangers in his own way. In the next scene, we see Heckle in the Dinobites Cafe attempting to get along with his new colleagues, the Rangers. He hasn't abandoned his mischievous tactics, and he keeps up with them in the cafe. He's seen arguing with Snide about not letting things go haywire in the name of evil, and Snide remarks that all he is quick, unlike Heckle. Heckle then uses a wrench-made stingrage venom to induce memory forgetfulness. However, Snide is not on board. Snide interrupts Heckle's plan to obtain the green energem, which Riley is capable of, but is unable to do so due to an attack by Stingrage. They carry on with the plan, but with a made-up twist as Heckle jumps in front of the Stingrage and is stung. He forgets his own memory, and the Rangers band together to save him, but Kendall is hesitant. After being cured, Heckle visits the base on his own after retrieving the coordinates. However, all of this planning and action is for naught because Heckle is unable to find anything at the location because the Rangers have energized it. Dino Armor X and the new Dino Superdrive successfully defeated the Stingrage. While the Rangers are sleeping, Heckle plots to steal their energies. He had used Vivix, Fury, and Nightmare to exhaust the Rangers, allowing him to take the path of least resistance. Shelby interrupts him unexpectedly. During his final move, nothing goes as planned as the two fights and Snide takes over, revealing that they are enemies, and they are forced to leave the place. Sing, a newcomer, joins Heckle's forces. Though he is initially hesitant about his approaches and stances, Heckle develops a liking for him and believes he is capable enough to be his ally. Singe confidently suggests a plan to retrieve the Rangers' energems. They could use a virus to disrupt the Rangers' weapons, rendering them powerless, making it easy for them to steal the energems. However, the prerequisite was that Ninja disabled their weapons. In a heated exchange between Snide and Singe, Singe reveals his entire plan to Snide. Snide and Heckle have different opinions about Singe, but this plan too does not come to fruition. Singe's next proposed plan was to use Zotac rings to neutralize the energies. Heckle has developed a dislike for Singe's plans because they are infective, and he agrees with Fury's point about the loophole. He threatens Singe with death unless he completes his mission successfully. This plan eventually fails as well, and he confines Singe and Fury to a cell. Even in game face, Heckle and his team are no match for the Rangers, despite their giant size. Heckle and his team make another attempt to steal the energems before Sledge arrives. This time, they plan to create a monster called Spelldigger, which would curse anyone who touched it. The touch would also make them very greedy. The Spelldigger begins to chase Chase and Tyler, attempting to trap them in the spell. This attempt also fails, as the Gold Ranger heroically intervenes. Heckle, frustrated with the situation, threatens the Spelldigger. The Rangers then acquired T-Rex Supercharge mode and the Triangular Formation, weakening and eventually defeating the Spelldigger. Heckle discovered that Singe was also plotting to steal Energem. As a result, he permits Fury to destroy Singe wherever he finds him.
A hint to the wise: get off this planet.
A journey towards becoming a keeper. Heckle moves on with his life, carrying the shame and guilt of destroying his beautiful homeland. He was also able to escape from Snide, thanks to the stolen split emitters. Heckle now felt like himself. He had regained control of his morals and values, and he could tell the difference between right and wrong. He was confident in his decisions and hoped to bring justice to the world. After escaping the ship, he seeks refuge in the woods. It surprised him to learn about Snide's whereabouts and what he had been up to. Snide had been plotting his uprising and Lord Arcanon's downfall with Sledge's crew for some time, and Sledge now wielded the powerful dark energy force, the Dark Energem. Heckle dismissed his train of thought and focused on his campfire when he noticed 3 Rangers crossing the campsite. He assures the Rangers that he has no evil bone in his body, that he has recently regained consciousness, and that he has separated from his evil twin Snide permanently. Rangers initially doubt him, but fully trust him after he saves them during an attack by his evil twin on the Rangers. When Earth was in danger, Heckle decided to help Rangers prevent Sledge from destroying it. Instead, he destroyed the Dark Energem itself, revealing its true powers. However, things go wrong when a massive black hole erupts, destroying everything in its path, including the ship and the Earth. This left everyone shaken, and they all embarked on a journey into the past to restore events to a positive connotation. When they all arrive at the beginning of powers from past events, Rangers and Heckle not only kill Sledge's crew, but also tie him to a large ship heading towards the sun. Heckle is honored as the keeper for his assistance, and Znowing transports Heckle back to Sentai 6, where everything is peaceful and trouble-free.
Unleash the power!
The Dark Ranger's redemption in the Cosmic Fury Ranger Saga. Heckle had entered the Prime Dimension during the battle between Lord Zed and the Refconian Resistance. Heckle had teamed up with the latter to defeat Lord Zed. He had gone undercover to make Squia fall for him. She was the daughter of Squid Inc. CEO Bajia. However, they required Dino Fury's assistance in attacking Zed's forces. Heckle smartly joins Squia on her mission to Earth and grants him access to the Squidrel, where he can stop the force field. Communication with the Emperor of Evil revealed that the Cosmic Fury Rangers were on their way to Earth. When Tarek signaled to disable the Squidrel, Heckle failed and landed in Zed's prison. He was able to release himself from there along with the Rangers with the aid of Tarek.
For Snide.
Powers and abilities of the Dark Ranger. Heckle was quite powerful overall. Absorbing the dark energy and transmuting an alter ego requires strength, and not dying in the process is also quite courageous. In terms of strength, he is considered equal to Lord Arcanon, Sledge, and even Snide. However, there is one thing that makes Lord Arcanon more powerful than everyone else, even Heckle. It is the Dark Energem. The show featured a memory reboot in which Heckle regains his lost memories thanks to the Dark Energem and attempts to save the world against his prior objectives with a shared motive with his alter ego Snide. As he fathers away from his twin, we see a dip in his powers. Though the reason for this is not explicitly stated, it is implied that Snide most likely drew more powers and strength from Heckle during his creation. A major example of this was demonstrated during the battle between Heckle and Snide, when Heckle sided with the Rangers to allow good to triumph over evil. In terms of tangible abilities, Heckle could fire light beams from his hands, most of which were turquoise or light blue in color. These beams are quite powerful, as they can kill multiple enemies at once. He was able to use this power to break free from Sledge's ship and block Sledge's power for some time. He also possesses the exquisite power of electro-telekinesis, in which the beams can move objects due to the electrical telekinetic force. His abilities include being quite durable, meaning that he could withstand the most powerful attacks in his human form without being destroyed or injured. This strengthens the previously discussed point. His ability to live as an immortal for extended periods of time, possibly centuries, is also praised in the show. However, it was discussed that this ability could be attributed to Snide in the proprietary of Heckle, as Snide's source of power and strength was the Dark Energem. Marvelous verdict. Heckle is a strong character and an important one at that. He leaves his imprint and presence in all situations. Regardless of how hard he tries to stay out of things, we see him getting involved and sealing deals that benefit him greatly. He has great powers, and his alter ego Snide shares a lot of power with him and complements each other's as well. His beat and determination to do his best in every situation demonstrate that he excels at whatever he does. He also readily trusts others. However, vengeance is wreaked upon any form of betrayal. He, no matter how despise-worthy, frequently teams up with Sledge and is often seeking to stay with him. The fact that Heckle mostly failed in his attempts and mission, despite his initial boastful attitude, demonstrates how he sometimes overestimates himself. His reliance on his teammates often causes him to fail the task. This is primarily because his teammates are not as capable as he is, and they are also unable to think long enough about the task at hand. His stance of jumping from one team to the next in several instances demonstrates his lack of loyalty. It also implies that somewhere deep inside, he is more of a Snide than a Heckle. His desire to inflict punishment on prison inmates during his supervision period demonstrated that Snide is more aligned with Heckle. He related more to seeing sadness and suffering than to peaceful situations. He was quite sadistic in his approach. Snide, his alter ego, is astute, quick, short-tempered, impatient, and reckless. He doesn't care about the outcome, and he is fundamentally evil. He's not afraid to betray anyone and enjoys being the leader. Heckle's threats and frustrations that popped up every time the team failed to retrieve the Energems showed his lack of patience too, as he expected more from the team than he did prior. He used his light beams to destroy everything in his path, demonstrating his strength in his human form. He has a conscience and morals that lean towards the good. His alter ego stills his consciousness and brings out his worst qualities. His transformation from human to evil twin destroyer to Power Ranger is quite impressive. He has witnessed all the ups and downs and benefited both the evil and good sides of the universe. This demonstrated his contrasting abilities as well as his ability to adapt and succeed in life. It's fascinating to see his learning and exploration journey through life's ups and downs, as well as his attitude towards it and his ability to adapt. Overall, it's a good character, and despite his evil nature, he grows on you. The expectation that he'll turn good for good pervades the entire show. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.